Hello. So, I'm probably only going to do like a couple of videos and then I'm going to take the weekend because family stuff. And also, oh my God, like, this is chaos. But I didn't want to lose this comment. And it says, so for many white women, there's truly no safe space and they double down on anger and hate. We are listening to understand. First of all, I really want to acknowledge and appreciate the generosity of spirit behind this comment. Thank you. Also, let's talk about, yes, you're correct. Let's talk about white women trauma, because this is something I think about a lot. White women trauma is very difficult to explain in the context of humans. So I'm going to explain it in the context of something else. And this isn't intended to be dismissive. This is just the best way I've found, the closest thing I found to be able to explain why white women sometimes are the way they are. Let's talk about small dogs. So dog trainers will tell you that small dogs are not inherently nasty, bitey, awful little gremlins. That behavior is generally a way indicative of the way that the dog has been raised or treated. And the reason that happens for small dogs is because people don't treat them as dogs. They treat them as toys or accessories, comfort objects, right? And so when you're a small dog, on the one hand, like, your life's amazing, right? Like, nobody's like putting you out in the yard all day and all night. You get all the food you want, you get soft beds, you get constant attention, you get carried everywhere. But also you get carried everywhere. So it turns out that when you don't treat a dog like a dog, when you don't let a dog be a dog and do things like sniff and explore and go on dog adventures and do dog things, that you get a very, very insecure dog, because they're not allowed to do, they're prevented from doing the things that would let them build confidence. The other factor for small dogs, as I understand it, is that their autonomy is constantly being violated. So when you go to pet like a Doberman or a German Shepherd and they growl at you, then if you're a smart person, you don't pet the Doberman or the German Shepherd. If you go to pet a Chihuahua and it growls at you, you don't have to pay any attention to that. You should, but you don't have to, right? And a lot of people think small dog aggression is cute, right? So imagine being a creature who, like, isn't treated like an autonomous being, but is constantly, like, being told that their anger and distress signals are cute, and constantly being held and petted, and when they don't want to be. There's also no consequences for small dog anger, because people don't take it seriously. So what that does is it makes for, like, a very insecure, fearful, aggressive little dog. And that kind of upbringing also makes for an insecure, fearful, aggressive white woman. And that's the closest way I have to explain that. It's also worth noting that there are no safe spaces in whiteness in general. That's not really what whiteness is for. Safety is one of the things that whiteness and white supremacy hold over us to make us do what it wants. You have to do this to get safety. You have to do that to get safety. But that safety is always contingent on performance. And so, because it's another method of control. So the answer to your question is no. White people in general and white women in specific do not generally have truly safe spaces unless we've deconstructed and, like, managed to carve them out for ourselves. But that's very, very difficult. So hopefully that makes sense.